Good morning, Wabash. Speaking today at Pioneer Chapel will be Cahmelan Porter with his talk titled Adversity, the Journey That Shapes Us and the Community That Carries Us. Cahmelan Porter, class of 2014, is an Indianapolis native who graduated from Wabash with a major in rhetoric and a minor in economics. During his time on campus, he was a member of the football team and the Malcolm X Institute of Black Studies. CP is the founder of Kamafi and co-founder of Cargo Streetwear Boutique, and he is currently serving as the Director of Marketing and Brand Strategy at Downtown Indy Alliance, leading brand and storytelling campaigns that strengthen the cultural and economic vitality of downtown Indianapolis. His focus on connection and community building has supported numerous creative projects, including his involvement in the annual Butter Fine Arts Fair. Let's give a warm welcome to Cahmelan.
Well, good morning, Wabash. It's an honor to be here. I never had this opportunity as a student, and it feels really good to be invited to speak for Founders Day, not just as an alumnus, but as someone who knows firsthand what this place can demand of you, and also what it can give back. Because coming to a place like Wabash doesn't leave you unchanged. We're here for Founders Day, honoring the men who started this institution with limited resources, uncertain futures, and a belief that building something meaningful was worth the struggle. And honestly, that sounds like like the state of our country right now. A little broken, a little uncertain, and just hoping it all works out. But here's what I want to talk about this morning. Wabash wasn't built on comfort, it was built on adversity, and so all of us. And so the nature of coming to a place like Wabash is overcoming adversity, and the journey of pushing through it is what makes you the person you are today. So there's a saying that there's two things guaranteed in life, and that's death and taxes. And both of those things can come in the form of adversity. And every one of us will face it in some degree. It doesn't discriminate. But here's the part that we often overlook. Adversity is not the enemy of success. Adversity is the architect of character. And the real secret is we don't overcome adversity alone. So when you step onto this campus, you inherit a legacy that wasn't built in ideal conditions. This was a frontier college, founded in snow, funded through sacrifice, and sustained by community. The men who built Wabash faced scarcity, doubt, fear, and failure, but they had each other. And because of that, we're here today. So let me tell you a little bit about my journey. I came here in 2007 from the west side of Indianapolis. I was eager for an opportunity to play football, but well underprepared for the rigors of a Wabash College education. Thankfully, I had teammates, coaches, professors that wouldn't let me fail, and somehow I managed to get through my first semester here in Crawfordsville. But then came the adversities. After having a pretty good freshman year of football, and a pretty decent year academically, I was faced with the cost of education, and unsure of how I would pay the balance, I decided to leave, and I transferred to Ball State. My dad was a disabled veteran, so attending a state school was pretty much no cost for me. My father and I had a pretty unconventional relationship. I grew up in a single-parent household with just my mom and my siblings, and really got to start to know my father later on in my life, and really connected with him and leaned on him to ask questions a lot about my own identity and where I come from. My mother's a German immigrant, so she doesn't look like me and she doesn't really talk like me. So I really made a lot of connections with my father in terms of identity. But in 2010, my father passed away, and I was really angry at him just for the poor choices he made in life that led to his death, but also with leaving me with the burden of his estate and carrying the cost of his funeral. And so losing him didn't just create grief for me, it created a lot of confusion. I wasn't sure who I was or what direction I was supposed to go, but I was really able to lean a lot on my friends. And a lot of those friends were guys I met at Wabash in that one semester. And so in spring of 2012, I decided to return. And I didn't come back because I knew it was the absolute right thing for me. I didn't come back because I was strong. I came back here because a lot of other people encouraged me, and they were strong for me. And then I started to realize that the community here is the one getting me through these challenging times, and this was the place I needed to be. And that's the difference between Wabash and a school like Ball State. It wasn't just a number here. You're known, you're seen, and when you struggle, someone notices. So I returned in pain, in debt, and still a little unsure of what I was going to do. But I returned because this community would not let me fail, and I felt that pull coming back. So once I got back on campus, I rejoined the football team. In 2012, playing against Worcester, I dislocated and fractured my hip. It was a worse injury than the Bo Jackson one. It took me a long time to rehab. But I had a doctor telling me that I might need a cane to walk, or I might have a little limp to walk for the rest of my life. But I was asking about coming back to play football, and they were running and playing again. Probably not. That's not going to happen. So this really made me want to prove them wrong. And so I was hurt physically and emotionally, but my friends, coaches, professors in this community assured me they would be there for me, and they were. Then more adversities came. Questions came of finances. Because of the detours I took in my college career, I was actually running out of financial aid, and there was just no way I could complete my degree without it. And so not only was I rehabbing an injury, I took on a 6-class course load, and I started a business. Thought I would be really overwhelmed, but because of the support I had from this community, it actually made me stronger, and I finished that semester with the highest grades I ever achieved here at Wabash. Thank you. So, and eventually I was able to get through rehab. I returned back to the football field, was fully able to participate, compete the entire season. And then I graduated and was able to walk under that arch. But more importantly, I rebuilt. I healed physically, I regained direction, I found purpose, I learned who I was beyond being an athlete, and I learned I was stronger than I ever realized. But I didn't rebuild alone. My community helped rebuild me. Brent Harris wrote an article my senior year about all of the trials and tribulations I faced here, trying to graduate through this place. And former Dean of Students, Mike Raiders, had a quote saying, "CP is going to be one of those guys who is going to be successful. Success may not mean being a multimillionaire, but he's going to be successful in anything he decides to do because he'll be successful in helping others, in helping make his community better, and in being an example to others." Well, my initial reaction at age 22 was like, what do you mean I'm not going to be a multimillionaire? That's the whole point of me coming here. But no, I quickly realized that the value I was looking for in life wasn't those dollars. It was community, and that's what I found value in. And that's the reason why I stay in a place like Indianapolis, even though I don't have a family member within 500 miles of me. It's the reason why I'm passionate about the artist community and creative economy, and it's the reason why I'm passionate about Wabash College. So we talk a lot about surviving adversity, but we rarely talk about how we survive it. And when I think about the challenges and adversities that I face and still currently face, it's always community that I rely on for support, motivation, and accountability. But when you think about the hardest moments here, like a brutal test, a family crisis, a mental breakdown, financial stress, there's one thing you'll always notice. Someone was there. It was either a roommate, a professor, a teammate, a fraternity brother, a friend you didn't know you had. That's because community is the crutch of support. And here's the truth. It's easy to feel isolated. It's easy to pretend you're fine. It's easy to disappear into your room and just kind of let the world keep turning. But isolation, that's where adversity becomes defeat. But community, that's where adversity becomes growth. So to the students here, some of you are dealing with some of those challenges right now. Some of you haven't faced them yet. Some of you might have just survived one. But wherever you are, just remember this. You don't have to do it alone because you weren't meant to. This place was built for struggle, not to break you, but to build you. Not to isolate you, but to surround you. Not to defeat you, but to transform you. So today, we honor the founders of Wabash, and they didn't quit They didn't wait for the perfect conditions, and they didn't quit when circumstances got hard. They didn't walk away when the future was uncertain, and that's because they had each other. They built this community and this college brick by brick, student by student, generation by generation, until one day men like us could walk these halls, sit in these classrooms, and be shaped by this legacy. So you're not just inheritors of this history, you're contributors to it. And so the real lesson here is adversity is not a detour, it is the road. And community is the vehicle that helps you navigate. So when adversity shows up, and I can assure you it will, don't ask, why is this happening to me? But ask, who do I have with me? So lean on each other, ask for help, give help, show up, just be there to listen. Stand together, because that's Wabash. We don't get to choose whether adversity shows up, but we always get to choose how we respond. And at a place like Wabash College, we learn to overcome, and a lot of that is built in the ability of community. Thank you, and Wabash always fights.
Just a few final announcements. Immediately following chapel, all first-generation students are invited to gather on the chapel steps for a photo. Additionally, Ronnie presentations will be taking place in Hayes 104 with pizza and drinks provided. I'd like to thank you all for attending. Now will you please rise and join me in singing Old Wabash. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.